Sakurai is on the circuit spilling knowledge about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and revealing details about some of our most anticipated characters that didn't make the game. What's going on, guys and girls? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Gabe is here, and Sakurai is prolific, to say the least. He is always doing interviews, he's always writing columns, he's always dumping knowledge, and this time he's talking about Decidueye, and he's talking about ARMS.
Zach, those are two things that would have been really great additions to the already ultimate Super Smash Bros. Decidueye would have been interesting just because that character already exists in Pokken Tournament, and the moveset would have been pretty easy to sort of emulate and translate over. I'm glad that they went with Incineroar because, Zach, I've actually kind of been using Incineroar a little bit, and he's a little bit underrated in my opinion, at least for me.
No more Kirby, Gabe?
No, yeah, I'm trying to move away from Kirby. So I'm having fun with Incineroar.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So
that's awesome to hear. I think Incineroar is great, and I still like using him. Not as much as I did early on, but hey, who do I like that's not named King K. Rool? I like that Sakurai did go with a character that hasn't seen realization in a fighting game of this style. Decidueye would have been an easier carryover, but he already is there, so you have a chance to play as him. I think Incineroar was a smart move. The part of this that I find really interesting, Gabe, is that Sakurai discussed the lack of representation from ARMS and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, saying that it really boiled down to poor timing, that a project plan for Smash Bros. Ultimate had to be settled too far in advance, and they weren't able to even consider, it sounds like, Springman or someone new from Xenoblade.
Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of development for games like this, but that's so weird to me because why do you need a plan like so ahead of time? I mean, they knew what ARMS was going to be beforehand, and yeah, I'm sure Smash was already like well into development at that time, but why not just like include it? I don't understand that at all, really.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an oddity given just the gap between the games, and I guess you're right, how early did this need to be set in stone? And it makes me wonder, why then the switcheroo with the DLC characters where Sakurai at one point said like they hadn't finalized them, so that came together, it seems like more I don't want to say last minute, but closer in a shorter time period. I really would have loved to see ARMS included in the game. To me, that's one of the big missings, because I love how Inkling has evolved into one of the best characters in the game. Jake loves using Inkling. It's a really fun thing to see Splatoon get representation. I feel like the DLC Fighter Pack is going heavy third party, so I don't foresee this being possible, but I would love if, given this comment, Sakurai was able to incorporate someone from ARMS in the future. We do have the assist trophies, and we do have the Mii Fighter outfits, but man, like, can we get a little Min? Can we get a little Twintelle action as an actual future, maybe DLC fighter down the road?
That'd be really cool. I would particularly love Twintelle, but, spirits are in the game for a reason, and we get to see characters from other franchises represented in Smash Brothers through spirits, and that kind of assuaged any, like, super, super hardcore, fandom I had for ARMS and how much I really, really wanted it in Smash. So it's a little there, but yeah, you're right. A playable ARMS character would have been super cool to be right off the bat. I wouldn't close it off completely to it being in the DLC pack, but I think you're right. I think it's in the lead, way more third party, and I do not think we see ARMS in Smash, unfortunately.
Unless there is a DLC Fighter Pack 2.
Yeah.
Which, not out the realm of possibility, but for now, we will keep that hype train to a miniature little Whoville size hype train. I don't want to give it any more space than that. Now, Sakurai also talked about Piranha Plant and that he really wanted it to be surprising. He said that one of the main reasons they picked Piranha Plant was because he actually isn't a hero and wanted to add variety in comparison to the other Mario franchise characters that found themselves on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, this is a super cool surprise, right? And what he wanted to work kind of worked. I don't think anybody expected this to be a character, and the way that it's just being like an extra, like one-off. It's not part of the fighter pack or anything like that, and everybody gets it as long as you redeemed your coins or whatever, and you'll still have an opportunity to get them later, even if you didn't. It was a cool surprise that I'm glad Sakurai was able to pull off, because things like this easily leak. Things are data mined. I'm so like thankful for the fact that the surprise was preserved, and we were all shocked when we saw it.
I think the bigger question might be, how does Sakurai play ARMS? Is he a motion controller guy and likes the precision that your very own hands can offer, or is he playing with that Pro Controller, maybe even the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Pro Controller, to get his arms on?
No, I think that anybody that is affiliated with Nintendo in any way is forced to play with motion control, and it has to be with the straps. Because you and I have a little bit of experience, just like at Nintendo events and things like that, and they are very adamant about anyone playing to have those straps because they are very important, and that's just what I envision from Sakurai. He wants to play it the way it was meant to be played, with the motion control, and he has those straps very, very tight so that the controls don't ever leave his hands.
Straps and Sakurai 2019, baby. Yeah, I think it's a really great best of both worlds scenario where you get surprise additions that are straight out of his repertoire and his mindset, like Piranha Plant, and then they also acknowledge that they did honor the fighter ballot from the Wii U DLC and brought Simon and Richter and Ridley and King K. Rool to the game. So fan favorites, much discussed characters, and then completely out of left field characters. Plus, who knows what they do with the rest of the fighter pack? We seem to think that we know the direction they're going, but maybe they surprise us. We've got Joker thus far, heavy Dragon Quest rumors, but we'll have to see who they decide to include. Perhaps they pull another magical rabbit out of their hat, or maybe instead it's a magical rat, because I'd love to see Mouser. In the meantime, though, we'll have to wait and see what Sakurai does. I do love that he gives us these updates. I think it's very nice of him, and I'm sure there are a bunch of you that now are fingers crossed that Rex Pyra or maybe Twintel make their way into the game. So thank you, Sakurai, for dropping knowledge, spawning new hope, and always being a class act. Let us know your take in the comments down below. If you could have someone from ARMS or someone from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as a fighter in the DLC pack, who would you rather have? I think for us, it's an easy choice. We'd love to go ARMS, but I'm sure a bunch of you will side Xenoblade. Let us know who and why you'd like to see. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest and greatest from the Switch and Smash Bros. Ultimate. It seems like this is going to be the game that carries throughout the lifehood of the Switch, and I'm excited to see where it goes. In the meantime, for myself and Gabe, thanks again for watching. Have a fantastic day. SwitchForce out.